All right, welcome back to another one of these Reddit video things. Today's video should be pretty interesting given that, well, it's in the name of the section we're looking at. It's called Interesting as Fork. Obviously, the name isn't actually interesting as fork. It's interesting as fork. But you know what? Some people have a sensitivity to the word fork, and as such, I'll say fork instead. Me personally, I use the word fork pretty regularly in day-to-day life. Outside of videos, it doesn't really bother me, and I don't censor it when other people say it in my videos. But you know what? I'll respect those of you who have a sensitivity to the word fork and say fork instead. So, top of all time. Here we go. Bionics is number one. Lego Bionicles, maybe? We've had some discussions about these in trials videos. What is this? They work like human legs, despite not looking like them. That's pretty cool. There will come a day when people are, like, actively seeking bionic attachments, bionic enhancements to themselves. Like, it's only a matter of time until this is a thing that people actually like want to have on the, oh, whoa. They feel. He can feel the legs. Oh my goodness, that's gnarly. Anyone can use them. Like, can you imagine if there was like an attachment you could put on your hand that like could just make you have super powerful grip strength? Or it's all going to be military applications when this stuff actually ends up, you know, hitting the public. Wouldn't really be the public at that point, but still, it's pretty crazy what the future holds. Proposed new standard year. 13 equal-sized months. 28 days times 13 months equals 364, plus 1 equals 365. First day of the month is always a Sunday. Last day of the month is always a Saturday. And then the one left over is New Year's Day. It's not a weekday or a weekend. It's magic. I mean, it would be very easy. It would almost be like you could do like a base 10 year as well, probably, where you had I mean, that might be a little bit more difficult because obviously 365, you'd end the year like midway through a week. But I'm sure there'd be a way to do it. You'd have to change the length of the day, right? So that, or no, you couldn't really, I don't know. Someone could propose a way to make like a base 10 year work, maybe. I have no idea, honestly, because it's a lot to think about at the moment. It's kind of like the imperial measuring system as well, which doesn't make too much sense. 12 inches in a foot, breaking each inch into inverse powers of 2, and then 5,280 feet for a mile and 3 feet for yard. It's like, why? Even though I still use it, just base 10 makes so much more sense. But base 7 works too in that case. That's pretty interesting. Drunk guy steals airplane. Like, he's just gonna be this has to be fake. I feel like this has to be fake. It's just too perfect. It's being too perfectly filmed. Yeah, for sure. It's part of like an act at an air show. Definitely part of an act at an air show. All right, for sure. It's like WWE, but for air shows is what I'm figuring here. Because that, yeah, no, I'm pretty darn sure that guy's like real experienced at flying. Otherwise, that would probably not work out very well. Like that's probably a dude he's hustling. He's hustling. He's trying to make it seem like he has no idea what he's doing when, in fact, this dude is like the gnarliest pilot you've ever seen in your entire life. It's still pretty cool. That's actually really scary, though. He actually like nicks the ground at one point, which, God, that takes a little bit of guts right there. Dad builds Ninja Warrior course for his daughter. Dude, I've always wanted to try one of those Ninja Warrior course things. That's pretty gnarly. That's pretty serious, actually. On a scaled down version, it's still probably about, based on her height and stuff, about the same sort of deal as the major courses, you know? Can't say I ever had moments like that when I was a kid. Also never had a yard to be able to do that as an option. Oh my God, just taking it one-armed. That's serious stuff. That was just effortless. That was just like, yeah, no problem. I can do one-arm pull-ups like all day. No big deal. I'm awesome. One-arm pull-ups are no joke. Although I did actually, this is gonna sound like I'm bragging, but I did actually manage to get it the other day. I posted it on Instagram because I said, okay, so said a while back, like my goal at one point in my life is to be able to do a one-arm pull-up, and then I got it, and then, oh dude, you even built the quarter pipe. I want to skate that. Actually, the top of that would be like really, really difficult to do on a skateboard, or to do any tricks on it, but still. Cool. Games have gotten very realistic. Wait, there's someone filming with their phone. That's pretty cool. Where is that? I guess that's on like, is that the Bay Bridge? Yeah, I guess that's over in like East Bay or something like that. I believe that's the Bay Bridge. That's funny. That's pretty cool. It looks like, how'd you get the lighting to be just perfectly spot on as well? That's awesome. Giant air cannon. Takes like 10 people to launch it. That's the coolest so far. That's the coolest thing so far on here. Dude, how many? It took like 8 people to pull that. You actually see, it's not a sonic boom, obviously, because it's not traveling faster than the speed of sound. But I guess it's just so dusty in the warehouse that it's just blowing. Or no. I guess they filled the tube with smoke. That must be what it is. So it's pushing out a thing. That's awesome. I love how you can see it traveling and it doesn't even dissipate. Oh my God, that is interesting as fork. When art imitates life. What sort of crazy illusion are you about to do to me here? Is that, it's actually, oh God, it is. It's a person. I knew it. What the, God dang it. Oh, that's that Vine dude. Final Cut King, I think. He's really good at that stuff. That's like, he's really good at that. Because it was definitely a still. Like, it was definitely a still. And then they just cut at the... I don't know how they match the camera shots that well. Because then they have to cut right there, change it back into a photo that they took. I just want to know the workflow of it. I just want to know the workflow. Like, so they had to take... They took the picture there, then probably set the thing up on the wall, did the shot in reverse, then played it forward, cut, and then they take the picture here, freeze it, then have to... and then they put the picture up on the wall that they just took, and then they film the rest. I want to see the making of. God dang, well done. This Veterans Day Memorial is only fully visible on 11/11 at 11/11 each year. Really? How is it colored though? How do you? There must be some like colored glass in there. I wonder what sort of Sorry, I like how I'm going into like the behind the scenes, trying to analyze how it was made for all these things, but. Like, do you have to do some straight up rocket science to figure out the alignment of the Earth and the sun at this particular latitude and longitude at what time on what day a year? And then you have to, you know, construct your thing just based on like an assumption that is where, like, obviously they could put like an artificial light that lines up with where they figure the sun is going to be. But God, what if you built the whole thing? And then you wait until that day. You have to just wait until that day. Then you do the grand opening and you're like, oh, shoot. Sir, our calculation was off by just like a 1/10 of a degree, but now it doesn't line up. Yeah, it was $1 million. It was $1 million to build. Yeah. No, it doesn't. We gotta redo it. You know what? Hey, if we can land stuff on other planets, I suppose this is probably a little bit smaller of a task, but still pretty darn cool. The pyramids is seen from a Cairo street. Oh yeah, I've not seen this image before, but I never realized that like the pyramids they're kind of in their own like area, but you can just be sitting at like a KFC on a super busy street and you just look over and it's like, oh, there's the pyramids. And likewise, if you're at the pyramid, you look over and it's just like KFC, busy Cairo street right there. Which I never realized. I kind of always thought the pyramids, up until I saw that photo, were out far, like in the middle of nowhere. Like it was a trek to get there. Nah, they're just kind of chilling right there next to busy city. Hey, I guess it makes it easier to get there. George H.W. Bush's letter to Bill Clinton on the day Bill Clinton assumed office as President of the United States. Is this going to get political? This might be cut. But I'll read it and we'll see what it says. This was just about a year after I was born. Yeah. Dear Bill, when I walked into this office just now, I felt the same sense of wonder and respect that I felt 4 years ago. I know you will feel that too. I wish you great happiness here. I never felt the loneliness some presidents have described. It will be very tough times, made even more difficult by criticism you may not think is fair. I'm not a very good one to give advice, but just don't let the critics discourage you or push you off course. You will be our president when you read this note. I wish you well. I wish your family well. Your success is now our country's success. I'm rooting hard for you. Good luck. It's a nice letter. I don't like to comment on politics because inevitably it's a way to make some certain amount of people mad who are watching this. And I like to not do that if possible, but it seems like a nice letter. That's all. Seems like a nice letter. You know, they're opposing parties and just it's a nice letter. Politics. Making floating glass dolls. Okay. You're gonna put, that looks like a plastic thing. Is that a plastic thing or not a plastic thing? You're gonna turn it into glass somehow? Diet, what does it say on it? What? Wait, what? What just happened? What? What, what? Alright, I'm trying to figure out what just happened. Did they dissolve? Did the things dissolve? Or I can't tell if those were gel capsules that had a dissolvable coating around them, and then, or if they're just whenever you put in whatever liquid that was, some kind of alcohol or something, it blends them in. That's okay. That's interesting as fork, dude. Weight distribution dynamics. It's cool. Oh, and then it's probably just gonna completely mess everything up. Uh-oh. Okay. Yeah, all right. So I guess you want to make sure to load your trailer properly so that you don't die. It's good to know. Also, how many people are pulling boats in their Mustangs? Does it happen regularly? I can't say I've seen it happen around here, but maybe for those of you who live near a lake, maybe you've seen someone pulling a boat in their Mustang. It's got to have happened. I mean, you got a pretty big engine in there, depending upon what kind of model you have. So I guess just attach a tow hook, pull your boat. It's cool, though. 2 pictures taken 1 second apart from each other. I mean, I'm curious if they were, probably wasn't taken exactly 1 second apart. It was probably, you know, kind of taken with a high-speed camera, and then they just looked at, oh, which frames line up the best. I know, why would someone go on the internet and tell lies and say it was taken a second apart when it wasn't actually taken 1 second apart? But it still it's kind of a cool little switch right there. I like how you can see the person walking in the background, though. Is that about a second's worth of progress there? Could be about a second's worth of progress there, depending upon their walking speed. What's the average human walking speed? Let's look that up, and then let's map it out to about what the distance is in there, and then let's figure out if that's about 1 second. Could be about 1 second. Could be about one. It's very possible. Pretty cool. I like how the wheels, though, are even like kind of lined up, which is pretty nifty. Like, what are the odds of that? Actually, they're rocking. They're both rocking. It looks like the Firestone right there, and it's actually, yeah, they're lined up. Pretty cool. How it works, computer recycling. Circuit boards are much harder to recycle since they contain a mix of metals, but the effort is still worthwhile. The metal parts are stripped down and put in a furnace. This is like my closet room looks like with my computer graveyard. They melt into a liquid mix of gold, silver, and copper, which is poured out, cooled, pressed, and then sliced into plates. It's like Tinker's Construct. You know, if you've seen that Minecraft stuff. Each plate is placed into a vat and given a positive charge. And then I knew it. They're going to separate the stuff. Yep. They're going to separate out the different stuff. And then they've got everything separated. And then they can get a lot of gold. The next bath steel plate attracts silver. That gets, and then all that's left over is the gold. After the second bath, the plate. Yep. I was like, you know, process of elimination. It's gold, and then it can be melted down. And then gold bars. So little did you know that throwing all your computers away, you're giving somebody gold bars. Now you're like, okay, I'm keeping them all to myself. I'm going to make my own foundry. I'm going to make my own smeltery, make my own gold bars. By the way, did you know that there's apparently, I don't know, maybe not everything you watch on TV is correct, but if you can like pick up a gold bar with your bare hand, like with it sitting flat on a table, one-handed pick up a gold bar, they'll let you keep it. That's what I've heard. Because apparently it's simply impossible to do. Because it's like angled in, you know, it's like a trapezoid kind of shape. And so you just cannot grasp it, and it weighs a ton. So I guess it's simply impossible to pick up a gold bar one-handed from a flat surface. The more you know. But if you can do it, it's worth a lot of money. I'll let you have it. Pretty sure that works everywhere. You just walk into a place that makes gold bars, you'd be like, hey, let me try to pick one up. And they'll be like, yeah, sure, you can keep it if you can do it. So practice. I'm hooked. What does this mean? Are you actually going to make a hook that is that big? I'm hooked on watching you make a giant fishing hook. Who would have thunk that you could take a paper drawing and turn it into a life-size fishing hook? Oh, and then you're going to draw. Oh, you're actually going to like etch the thing out? and then he's gonna use it to catch Moby Dick. I wonder if he sells these or if it was kind of like a DIY project. I'd get something cool like that. It doesn't really fit with the aesthetic of my house, but if I had more of like a tropical kind of house. Oh, tropical house is kind of music too. Just put it in the back. That's pretty cool, glow in the dark. That's interesting as fork right there, I would have to say. All right, let's check out some angular momentum real quick. What show me what you got. I do find moment of inertia and angular momentum like pretty interesting. You can do some cool stuff. Okay, what's he gonna do? Oh yeah. And then he starts spinning because right, you got to have conservation of angular momentum. You know, this is why helicopters have to have the two propellers on them, right? You got to have the one that's the main one for lift, but then you got to have the one at the back that's combating, because otherwise, if you just have the one in the middle, that's why if you see in movies, like when the rear propeller goes out in a helicopter, the thing starts spinning out because you have to have conservation of angular momentum. So that one is going this way, then the body's going to start spinning the other way because it's got it, you know? Science. Or sometimes helicopters will just have multiple main lifting things so that they cancel out their angular momentum, so the sum is still 0 and then the body doesn't spin. Science for you right there. But you can do that yourself at home, and it would do what it do. All right, I remember learning about that in physics. All right, dude. Well, we've been going on for a little bit of time. There's still so many left here, man. I feel like on most of the subreddits, there's still a lot of cool stuff left that makes for a second visit. But in any case, we'll leave that off right now. For Interesting as Fork, I hope you've enjoyed watching. Make sure to like if you like. Check the playlist in the description if you want to check out any of the other top of all time on particular subreddit videos I've done. Subscribe if you're not already, and if you want to listen to the music that's playing right now, link is in the outro over on There Music. I'll see you next time.